Have you ever felt completely lost, like there was no way out? Well, today I am going to share a true story that will blow your mind and maybe even strengthen your faith. This isn't just any story. It's a real-life account from the 1940s in West Africa about a young boy named Enoch and a miracle he experienced firsthand. Picture this. The sun is just starting to peek over the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow. Young Enoch, full of childhood excitement, wakes up with a brilliant idea. His older sister had recently described the way to her husband's farm, painting a picture of a wonderful place. In his young mind, the journey seemed short and simple. He thought, I can go there and be back before anyone even knows I'm gone. Without a word to his parents, driven by pure adventure, he slipped out of his house. The early morning air was fresh as he set off, following the directions his sister had given him. He imagined arriving at the farm, surprising his sister and brother-in-law, and spending a fun day with them. The thought made him walk faster, his small feet kicking up dust on the path. At first, the journey was just as he imagined. The path was clear, and the sounds of the waking village were familiar. But soon, the familiar path gave way to the dense, unfamiliar jungle. The trees grew taller, their leaves forming a thick canopy that blocked out the morning sun. The sounds of the village faded, replaced by the chirping of insects and the calls of unseen birds. Enoch walked and walked, but the farm was nowhere in sight. He followed what he thought was the right path, but every turn seemed to lead him deeper into the wilderness. He turned left, then right, then retraced his steps, but everything looked the same. The tall trees, the thick undergrowth. It all blended into a confusing maze. Panic began to set in. He was lost. Utterly and completely lost in the vast jungle. He was just a little boy, alone and scared. The excitement of his secret adventure had turned into fear. He called out, but only the echo of his own voice answered. The jungle, which had seemed so inviting just a short while ago, now felt menacing. He sat down on a fallen log, tears welling up in his eyes. He was tired, hungry, and terrified. He didn't know which way was home, and he didn't know how to get to the farm. He was trapped. In that moment of pure desperation, a thought came to him. It was a simple, innocent idea born from the faith his family had taught him. He remembered hearing that God helps those who are in trouble. With nothing else to do and nowhere else to turn, little Enoch looked up to the heavens. Through the small gaps in the tree canopy, he clasped his small hands together and prayed the most heartfelt prayer of his life. It wasn't long or fancy. He just said, God, help me. He closed his eyes tight as he said the words, pouring all his fear and hope into that simple plea. When he finished, he slowly lowered his head and opened his eyes, and what he saw made him gasp. Standing a short distance in front of him, on the very path he was on, was a small, white dog. Enoch blinked, confused. Where did this dog come from? He hadn't seen or heard it approach. There were no houses or people for miles. It was just there, as if it had appeared out of thin air. The little white dog looked at him, its tail wagging gently. It wasn't barking or growling. It just seemed friendly, almost as if it was waiting for him. It wagged its tail again, took a few steps, and then looked back at Enoch, as if to say, well, are you coming? Enoch was still scared, but the dog's friendly presence was a strange comfort. He thought to himself, I'm already lost. What else can I do? He had a choice. Stay put and be lost forever, or follow this mysterious little dog. He decided to follow. He got up and started walking, keeping a safe distance behind the friendly creature. The little white dog led the way with confidence. It trotted along the winding jungle path, never hesitating, always looking back to make sure Enoch was still following. They walked for what felt like a long time, deeper and deeper into the jungle. But now, Enoch didn't feel as scared. He was focused on the little white dog, his unlikely guide. And then, just as suddenly as the dog had appeared, the scenery began to change. The trees started to thin out, and Enoch could see more sunlight. He could hear the faint sound of livestock. His heart started to beat faster, this time with hope, and then he saw it. Through a clearing in the trees, he spotted a large wooden barn. It was the farm. His brother-in-law's farm. He had made it. Overjoyed, he started to run towards the clearing. As he emerged from the jungle, his sister, who was working near the barn, spotted him. Her face was a mixture of shock, relief, and worry. She ran towards him, her arms open wide. "Enoch, what are you doing here? How did you find this place all by yourself?" She hugged him tightly, and Enoch, finally safe, began to tell her everything. He told her about his secret trip, about getting horribly lost in the jungle, and about his desperate prayer for help. And then, he said excitedly, "A little white dog appeared and showed me the way." His sister looked at him, puzzled. "A dog?" she asked. "Enoch, there aren't any dogs on this farm, or anywhere nearby." "Yes, there is," Enoch insisted. "It's right there." He turned and pointed his finger to where the dog had been standing just moments before, at the edge of the jungle. But there was nothing there. The little white dog was gone. It had vanished just as mysteriously as it had appeared. Enoch looked around, confused. He was sure the dog was right behind him, but it was nowhere to be seen. It was as if it had simply dissolved into thin air the moment its job was done. Enoch and his sister stood there for a moment, the reality of what happened slowly sinking in. There was no logical explanation. A little boy, lost in a dense West African jungle, prays for help, and a mysterious white dog appears out of nowhere to lead him to safety, only to disappear once he arrives. This true story is a powerful reminder. Sometimes, when we are at our most lost, when we feel completely alone and have exhausted all our options, help can come from the most unexpected places. For young Enoch, his simple, childlike prayer was answered in a miraculous way. It shows that faith, even the simple faith of a child, can move mountains or, in this case, navigate jungles. God truly does hear the prayers of his children, especially the youngest and most innocent among them. What do you think? Was it an angel in disguise? A miracle? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about Enoch's incredible story. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing true stories. See you next time.